Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is NURIN JESLINA binti Muhammad NAZRI and I'm from UITM Arau under Applied Science Faculty. My matric number is 2022679344. In this video, I want to talk about acid rain. What is acid rain? How is it formed? And the effects of acid rain to our environment. Let's go! Is there actually a thing called the acid rain? As scary as it sounds, acid rain very much exists and it can seriously harm our environment if we don't do anything about it. You guys might be questioning what exactly is acid rain. Well, first of all, we all know that rain clouds are formed of pure water, but sometimes gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide chemically react with the water and oxygen in the atmosphere and fall back to Earth in the form of acid rain. You will be hearing the names of these two gases a lot throughout the video because acid rain mainly consists of these two gases only. Acid rain can be divided into two types. The type of acid rain that contains water, such as rain, snow, or fog, is called wet deposition, whereas acid rain formed with dust or gases is called dry deposition. But how do these gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide reach the atmosphere in the first place? Well, there are two main sources of it. First is the natural source, such as rotting vegetation and erupting volcanoes that release some chemicals naturally and can cause acid rain. Although most acid rain phenomena is caused by man-made technologies and human activities like burning of fossil fuels and the release of smoke from vehicles and pollution from factories. Let's dive deeper to understand better about acid rain. You see, plants intake some sulfur to grow that they obtain from sulfates. For example, potassium sulfate, which can already be found naturally in the soil. The sulfates then are absorbed into the roots as sulfur atoms bond with carbon atoms in the leaf's protein. And after millions of years, when these plants eventually die and turn into coal, these sulfur atoms and carbon atoms remain intact. After that, when we burn the fossil fuels of these dead plants, i.e. coal, the sulfur and the carbon atoms mix with the oxygen in the air. They are then released into the atmosphere as sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide. Eventually, when the sunlight hits these gases, a chemical reaction takes place, where the sulfur dioxide reacts with more oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. After that, the sulfur trioxide in the air mixes with the rainwater to create sulfuric acid. Now you might be asking, what causes the rain to become acidified? Fun fact, normal rain is already slightly acidic because whilst falling towards the ground, the rain dissolves the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which forms carbonic acid, a weak acid with a pH of 6. But when factories or power stations burn fossil fuels that release gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, a much stronger acid gets into our rain to form acid rain with a pH as low as 3, which increases the acidity of rain significantly. When the pH changes from 6 to 3, what do you think the acidity increases by? 2 times? 3 times? 10 times? Or 1,000 times? Pause and try to guess the answer. The answer is 1,000 times. Remember that each change of 1 pH is a 10-fold change in acidity. So changing from 6 to 3 is 10 times 10 times 10, which equals to 1,000 times more acidic. Can you believe that? Another way acid rain is formed is when our motor vehicles release nitrogen oxide from their exhaust pipes into the atmosphere. They react with more oxygen and mixes with rainwater to form nitric acid. So to summarize, normal rain is slightly acidic due to the dissolved carbon dioxide, but acid rain contains sulfuric and nitric acid, making the rain 1,000 times more acidic and dangerous for many living things. To continue, sulfuric acid arises from the burning of fossil fuels containing sulfur, whereas nitric acid arises from the combustion of atmospheric oxygen and nitrogen in the high temperature conditions in the cylinders of petrol and diesel engines of motor vehicles. Now that we know how acid rain is formed, let us move on to its effect on our environment. Acid rain has many ecological effects, primarily on lakes, rivers, and other aquatic environments. Acid rain makes such waters more acidic, which results in more aluminum absorption from the soil, which is then carried into lakes and rivers, making the water toxic for the aquatic organisms to survive. Not only that, acid rain harms forests as well by damaging the leaves and robbing the soil of essential nutrients and making it difficult for trees to consume water. In addition, acid rain can also corrode metal and stone buildings or structures. As you can see, acid rain can seriously harm our environment. So what can we do to reduce the negative effects of acid rain on our environment? Well, the most obvious solution to stop acid rain is by reducing the burning of fossil fuels. This will decrease the number of pollutants responsible for acid rains. Instead, people can use renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. Renewable energy sources help reduce acid rain because they produce much less pollution. These energy sources can be used to power machinery and produce electricity. Secondly, cars and trucks are major sources of pollutants that cause acid rain. While one car alone does not produce much pollution, all the cars on the road added together create lots of pollution. Therefore, car manufacturers are required to reduce the amount of nitrogen oxides and other pollutants released by new cars. For example, one type of technology used in cars is called a catalytic converter. This piece of equipment has been used for over 20 years to reduce the amount of nitrogen oxides released by cars. Other than that, some new cars can also use cleaner fuels such as natural gas. That's all for today's video. I hope this video was helpful for you to understand more about acid rain. Thank you very much and bye-bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, bye!